Michael. Thank you for joining us today. We are a close-knit family. It is Monday, March 9th. This is Season 2, Episode 31. We are a Knitcast coming to you from Armstrong. We forgot to close the door, so Jude's going to come on in and be part of this podcast. Coming to you from Armstrong in the North Okanagan region of British Columbia, Canada, following our ongoing yarn and knitting addictions.
Holy crow. So yeah, obviously if you've been following along with us, you know that we are not getting these out as often, well, as we had planned.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to sort of be what it's like going forward is we're going to try and do it whenever we can, but due to schedules and life, it's not quite as convenient as it once was.
Yeah.
So we'll try to keep you up to date
with
our goings on. It's just probably not going to be as often.
Just found a pencil on the floor.
As it has. That I think is the one that was missing from right here.
Maybe.
Cool. All right. So I got to see Carrie again.
Oh yeah?
She came in and got her nails done.
Yeah.
And that was nice. I got to meet her son Darcy too.
Oh yeah?
And he's a knitter.
Oh cool!
Yeah. So I like that I'm getting to meet more and more young men who are knitting.
We're collecting a group of we are collecting young men who knit.
And that's kind of really what I was hoping would happen.
Yeah.
Is that they'd start coming out of the woodwork.
Yep.
More and
yep.
And yeah. So I'm thinking, you know what we should do?
What should we do?
We should have like a mom and son knit night. Somewhere, sometime.
Maybe, yeah.
We'll put that on the back burner. I'm going to write it down.
Write it down even, yes. Mom
and son knit at the pub.
Sure.
Anyway, whatever. Yeah. So that was nice. I was happy to meet another knitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing that's sort of new for me is I started using Knit Companion.
Knit Companion.
Now I got to try to figure out how to do this without giving too much away.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so Knit Companion, it's an app you can use, and I only have the free version.
Okay.
But it allows you to have your patterns that you're working on all in one place.
Okay.
And then moving this
it's a little highlight bar.
Yellow highlighter bar.
Yeah.
You can tell where you are. And there's another little bar, this blue one.
Oh yeah, that you can also move.
That you can also identify, like, so if you've got like this one it's a pattern that's on, two sides. So if you can move the bar, like, to tell you which
side you're on.
Which side you're on. And it's, beyond that, it also has, like, row counter function.
Oh yeah, in the bottom corner, in the little corner there.
Down here at the side.
Yeah.
So, if you remember to tap your row or stitch counter, and that, there's 6 of them there.
Yeah,
potentially.
And they're all different colored and...
So, yeah.
Cool.
And there's all sorts of other kind of, functional stuff to it, but all the pages of your pattern are there on your device, and I think it can be on a phone or a tablet.
Yeah. Well,
and then there is a paid-for option that gives you even more functionality.
Cool.
I haven't looked into that at all.
Okay.
But I do quite like this because I do a lot of chart knitting right now.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It keeps me... Oh, and there's a little pointer that you can... I'm going to go pull up one of my other patterns. Hopefully do this without causing a problem.
Ooh.
Okay, so like you can see the little blue pointer there in the middle. It's right on top of that gray bar.
Yeah.
So you can move that around too to say where you are. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the line, this is where I am.
Yeah.
Or if you had to stand up and leave, it's easy to say this is the row I'm on, but if
Yeah.
you've got a whole bunch of stitches written out and you
Yeah.
have to walk away, you just tap the screen and it says, this is where I am.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, I quite like that. I was hoping it would be a bigger game changer than it was.
Yeah.
But
But
it's kind
it's helpful.
of cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Oh.
So the other thing that's going on is our local yarn store, the Twisted Pearl, is gathering yarn to send to Madagascar,
Okay.
where I'm going to get this all wrong, but I believe someone from one of the churches is teaching the women there to knit.
Okay.
And Madagascar, I guess, has a climate which would be similar, I understand, to like Vancouver.
Interesting. Okay.
So there is, like, people would potentially wear knits there, but knitting's not a thing.
Okay.
So yeah, so they're teaching women to knit, and they're also giving them an opportunity to earn income by, you know, knitting things
Okay.
and selling them and what have you. So anyway, I did a major de-stash.
Good. You meant to record it.
I meant to record the de-stash, but you know, you get right into the middle of something and then you're like, I just need to get this done.
Yeah.
But I donated so it's one of those paper bags that are they're about 1.5 feet wide by maybe 8 inches deep
Okay.
by, like, I don't know, 14 inches tall-ish. They're quite big. So that bag full and another box full of yarn I donated, and I got it out of my hair, and it was like, it felt so good. There were completely untouched balls of yarn in there. There were some that were more on the scrappy side. There was a little bit of everything, but mostly it was like, it was so freeing because I've had all the yarn that's left over from my leaf coat.
Yes.
And in the end, I didn't do the big collar on the leaf coat, and I didn't do the sleeves on the leaf coat. And so I had a ton of partial balls of yarn and full balls of yarn, but all these, there were 50-ish different yarns in that
Something
coat.
like that, yeah.
So I had all these bits of yarn, and I kept saying, I can do something with those. I can do something with those. And now it's just like, they're gone. And it felt so good. So good. I have a scrappy project. I have my blanket on the go, and I've got my yarn sort of set aside for that. And so yeah, that was such a nice thing. I cannot, if you're, because I mean, yeah, I have a combination of, I have stash guilt. It's a true story. I have stash guilt. Because, I mean, darn it, all these, my favorite yarn stores keep having sales. And I keep going, and there's stuff that I cannot pass up. And then it's like, okay, now I've got all this yarn. I cannot get any more yarn because I've got all this yarn. And then I have all those little bits of yarn that I should be doing something with. And so it's like, okay, now if something doesn't have a purpose,
it's going away.
if I couldn't identify this is becoming, it's gone. So all the yarn I have has a project assigned to it now.
Good.
That
I can't say as much.
That felt very good. So where's your stash at? Do you have a stash? Do you buy as you go? Do you, well, you know, whatever. What do you do? What's your
What's your stash habit?
What's your stash habit? Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you do with your leftover bits? Because we all know we can't get rid of them. I did keep some.
Could be usable for something.
Purpose,
I mean, currently I've used a leftover bit of yarn for a hole to hold some stitches, but
yeah. There's lots of scrappy projects out there that we can do, but yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And you were talking about sort of what do you do when you're knitting?
Yeah, because I realized that, like, you know, while I'm knitting, if I couldn't also be, you know, basically listening to something else, knitting would drive me insane.
Yeah.
I would not be able to knit. I would not be where I am now if I could not also listen to something else while I was knitting. Mostly that's been Critical Role, which is how I got you into it. Yeah, sometimes I'll listen to other podcasts or other videos or something. Or you know, at night I'll be listening to the conversations. I mean,
There's other stuff going on. That's sort of part of, I mean, because I'm the same way, and I actually find that, like, knitting helps me focus on that other thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Which some people don't understand.
Yeah.
So it's like, because my knitting goes everywhere with me. So, you know, what do I do when I'm knitting is, yes, I definitely watch shows and TV and what have you. I got yarn in my mouth. I go out, I'm hanging out with friends, I'm knitting, and some people, you can see they get that, like, oh, you know, that's rude.
Yeah.
But then they will come around and realize that, no, I'm actually very engaged in conversation and stuff. I'd be more likely to disengage if I didn't have something that was anchoring me.
Yeah.
And that is both a personality thing and it's a learning thing. And there are kids in schools who need to, you know, hear the teacher, put your pen down or whatever. I don't know about you, but if I'm on the phone and I'm constantly, I'm like filling in or I'm bored if I'm at a meeting and I've got a sheet of paper in front of me, I'll start filling in all the A's and the O's and the E's and all the little openings. And I'm coloring and I'm doing all these other things. It's not that I'm not paying attention. I need that. I remember getting chastised once upon a time because I was at this, it was when I was younger, so we're sitting on the floor and there was somebody up in the front talking to us about something, and I was sitting and I was braiding my hair.
Right.
And I got chastised in front of everybody for not paying attention. And it was like, dude, you have no idea. So yeah, I guess in saying that, it's just sort of a, you know, keep in mind that sometimes, people just need that, that other thing going on.
I know when I'm dungeon mastering, I'm totally okay if my players need to bring something else to do. Like, one of my players likes to draw while they're playing, and they draw some pretty intricate stuff, but I know that while they're doing that, that's helping them pay attention to me as I'm expunging the story and expunging. Expelling. Yeah.
But luckily you came up with that sort of because you were lucky enough to have a teacher and to be in a class of gifted students who all needed that.
Yeah.
And I remember being in there one day and you guys were doing whatever, I don't know. And then the teacher said, okay, so it's novel time or whatever.
Yeah.
And get out your
stuff.
Get out your stuff. And there was one kid had like a Game Boy kind of thing, and somebody else had a crossword puzzle, and someone else actually had a book.
Yeah.
And someone else had something else.
I think I was doing math homework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the teacher's up at the front reading the novel.
Out loud.
And I thought, excuse what?
Yeah.
What? And I was really sort of taken aback because I thought, they're not paying attention. And then she would stop and she'd say, okay, so what do you think so-and-so is going to do about the blah, blah, blah? And every hand in the room went up.
Yeah.
Because they all, anyway, it was really eye-opening for me. Yeah. Yeah, so don't always assume that someone might, they might be completely distracted and not paying attention, but they might be using whatever they're doing to stay zeroed in. And
so what do you have any knitting activities? Do you do anything?
Yeah.
Let us know.
I do it everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, like sports, when I'm watching sports, TV, work. Yeah, work's become a big place for that.
knitting, yeah.
Speaking of work, I've got magnetic lashes. Come on, ladies, you've all heard about them. So, these are my magnetic lashes. And they're quite cool if you haven't heard about them. So, you put on an eyeliner that's got something...
some metallic...
in it.
Yeah.
And then the lashes, the strip of lashes have teeny tiny magnets along the bottom of them. And so you just click the lashes onto the eyeliner. It rocks. No glue. Now I wouldn't use these for swimming.
Yeah.
Probably not any heavy sports. But yeah. I love my magnetic lashes. Some people have found it works better if you trim them down a bit. But anyway, so that's just my other thing that has come up.
Yeah. All right. Shall we talk about knitting?
Let's talk about knitting.
Let's talk about knitting.
Yarnquisition!
Yarnquisitions. I actually have a couple quisitions.
I do too.
Yeah.
I have one. You go.
So, yeah, Robin mentioned, she did not ask, very specifically did not ask, she mentioned that she would love it if I made a toque for her. Bright baby blue with a pom-pom on top. So we popped down to the yarn store and picked out a yarn, and this is the yarn that Robin ended up choosing, is this very nice baby blue chunky yarn. Top value chunky. She just really liked the color of this yarn, which I can't blame her. It's a very nice baby blue. 100 grams. 100 grams. 150 meters. 100% acrylic, which I wasn't so hot on, but Robin was like, I really like this color. So
it's washable. It's good.
It's washable,
Not that all yarn is washable.
Well, yeah. James C. Brett. So, yeah, 150 meters, sorry. Shade number TC05.
There you go. That's a catcher.
There you go. That's a catcher.
That's a name catcher.
And then I was going to commission my friend, who we've previously mentioned on the show, James, to make a pom-pom for the hat, because he's been into that recently.
We still don't know for sure if he has a pom-pom maker
or if he's
just doing it the traditional way.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, I'll just give you one. So I also now have a pom-pom, and James was very kind and left some
nice long strings.
so I can attach that, and yeah.
Cool.
That's one of my acquisitions.
What else have you got?
Well, another day, because we haven't recorded in a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
My birthday's coming up, and Robin said, "Hey, Mike, I've seen you when we were last in that yarn shop. I saw you staring at some of the sock yarn in there. So I'll tell you what, as an early birthday present, I will buy you some of that yarn." It's Noro yarn. Oh, I love Noro yarn.
Is that sock yarn?
I think so. I'm realizing it's maybe a little bit heavy. It's 150 grams to 375 meters.
Oh, it's got polyamide in it.
Yeah,
okay.
It's 65 wool,
Nice.
35 polyamide.
You bet you can make some nice warm socks with that.
Oh, yeah. I love Noro yarn. So I am so happy with this. I could make like several socks with this, which I think is very nice. I was actually briefly worried that maybe this was going to be like too thick for sock yarn. So, but
you just adjust your pattern.
yeah. But then I was thinking like, okay, maybe I could make a Catherine Ann shawl with this, but then it's definitely too light for that. Or maybe
you'd need more yarn.
Yeah, or maybe a papillon.
Papillon? Yes. You'd need more yarn.
Need more yarn. Yeah, so this is Noro Tabi, Tabi yarn. 150 grams to 375 meters. This is color number 8.
Did you get it right up there?
I think so. Let's get a nice peek down there here. Here, this ribbon is just for show.
Yeah, but it's a pretty ribbon.
Yeah, very nice.
Oh, those are lovely colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love Noro yarn. I just love the imperfect yarn and just the long color variations and
yeah.
Yeah.
Noro's a beautiful yarn.
Mm-hmm.
It is not my cup of tea.
That's fair.
Yeah. Because it stripes.
That's fair. Yeah.
The only time if I was making something that I wanted striped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. I like doing weird things with my yarn, as evidenced by Tilted Cowl using the I believe it was a Drops yarn, the self-patterning sock yarn.
Yeah.
In a cowl.
And it turned out cool.
Yeah.
Right on. So,
Yeah.
what else?
Well, so when you were rating your destashing
When I destashed,
you gave me an opportunity to come in and have my pick of it. And this was the first yarn that grabbed me, is this whole thing. Again, I very much like colors. This is an Estelle Lumiere yarn, color number 50904. It is 50% wool, 50% acrylic, 200 meters to 100 grams. And I like the colors. Mm-hmm. I like things that are colorful. So this is no idea what I'll do with it yet.
Yeah, I got that for a project, and then it striped. I was like, no!
And I also thought, I'll also grab onto this. Oh,
did you get both of them or just the one?
I got both of them.
Okay.
This is Pakupura.
Sure.
Pakupura. You use this for your weaving. Yeah, that's why I recognize
We've definitely
this.
seen this yarn before.
Yeah.
But it's 100% alpaca.
It's 100% alpaca. Shade number 3102, dye lot. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, this is so soft. I will definitely be making some kind of shawl or cowl maybe out of this, and
Yeah. It is so soft.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the type of thing I was destashing. I had 2 full skeins of this, and I was just like, can't find anything to make with it.
Yeah.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
But Mike picked them up, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Okay.
Pakupura. There, it's actually spelled out on the label. I was trying to.
And so now it's my turn?
Yep, now it's your turn.
So when I was at the yarn store dropping off my faux.
Yes.
I was looking at, how can you not? I was looking at some yarn. I sort of had my back to things, and all of a sudden I got hit on my back.
Oh yeah.
With this skein of yarn.
Okay.
So this is Marisol.
Okay.
Chichi.
Chichi. Okay.
Chichi.
Okay. Chichi.
Chichi. It's the word for little spots.
Okay.
Or little grains. No, I can't read that word. Quechuan?
Quechuan.
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 And so, Kathleen, so I said, I turned around, I picked it up, I said, did you want me to put this away? And she said, no, I want you to take it and make something.
Okay.
So it was a sample that had been given to the store, and she said, I want you to play with it, see what you can do. So there's been a lot of demand for non-wool but natural fiber yarns.
Okay. Okay.
Some people are allergic to wool.
Okay. Yeah.
But not to mention, also in the summertime, it's a little bit cooler. That's where cotton and linen and silk and stuff come in. So this one is 30% alpaca,
Soft.
30% linen,
Ooh.
25% viscose from bamboo,
Okay.
and 15% micro tweed.
Micro tweed.
So the tweed is going to give it that, all its little spots.
Okay.
I'm thinking this is about a DK weight. And it's hard. Basically, Kathleen was just like work with it. Tell me what you think of it.
Okay.
You know, give me some feedback. There's not a lot of these yarns. They're just sort of starting to come out. So
Oh.
it's like we want to find out, like, what does it feel like? You work with it. What does it feel like to work with? What does it feel like after you've used it and washed it and blocked it? And what do you think of it? So with one skein of yarn, what is it? It's about 274 yards, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's from Peru. So a little bit limited what I can do. I am thinking I'll make a hat.
Okay.
Probably something like a bit with open work.
Okay.
So it's more of like a spring,
Yeah.
or I mean, some people wear beanies and stuff in the summertime too. So yeah, that was my yarnquisition.
Yeah. It
feels like a cotton.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes,
Well,
actually, yes.
It's got the cotton linen, but
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see what it does.
I would not say this. I would not describe this as soft, but it's also not like.
Oh, it's not itchy at
Yeah,
all.
it's also not itchy, and it's not.
It feels like a t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So it is soft like a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's now something that's hanging out going, oh, I need to use you, but I don't know how. So that's going to come back here.
Okay.
Apparently when I destashed, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, and I have a plan for my red mohair down there now too.
Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Love a good red mohair.
Yeah, I do. So I believe that was Yarnquisition. Foes!
Foes! Not for me.
Okay, so I
Not even a hoe.
completed the hiking socks.
Yay! Where are they?
And I wrote the pattern for it, and I have delivered it to the yarn store, and hopefully sometime down the road we'll hear more about that.
Alrighty.
But what I learned, if you want warm socks,
Yes.
put a strand of mohair in them.
Just a strand of mohair?
Who would have thought? Well, I mean, I never thought of putting mohair in socks because mohair, it's a luxury item.
Yeah.
It's a luxury yarn. But so in making these socks, so I had mohair in the toes and the heel, like completely with other yarn for strength. And then I was helical knitting the stripes. So it was a stripe without mohair, a stripe with mohair, a stripe without, a stripe with, a stripe without. So, and even you noticed, just holding those socks, you immediately felt the warmth come back.
Yeah.
And I did slip them on my feet for a minute just to see how they would feel and how they would fit once I was finished. And holy, immediately my feet were warm, and it wasn't because of the wool. So if you're making somebody slippers, or somebody who's like cold feet and complains about that thing, cold hands, throw a
Strand of mohair.
strand of mohair in there, because
All right.
that was very nice. Okay, and that has been Foes.
Those. That moves us on.
Finished
to,
objects, by the
yes.
way, for those of you who don't know.
Yes. That moves us on to whips.
Whips!
gloves are still coming along. I'm probably going to... So this is the left glove I'm working on now. The right glove is actually over on my desk there. I still need to sew up bits of that and sew into ends and such. But yeah, left glove is coming along. It's got the, you know, it's a convertible mitt. So
and what's the name of the pattern?
This is the Beekeeper mitt.
Beekeeper.
By... It's on my pattern.
By Mindy Dykman.
I thought it was Mindy Dykman. I didn't want to say that. Yeah, so I just got a little bit more to do on the fingers there. Sew up the thumb. There's a little panel to do in the opening, and then I got to sew it all together, and then that'll be these done. So I'll probably finish this up while we're editing this video. Get started working on the thumb, and yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now it's my turn.
Now it's your turn.
And I was trying to be kind of alternatively monogamous with some things.
Is that how monoganism works?
I was spending a week on this and then a week on that.
Okay.
Right.
And wow, you've got
trying to get significant progress on one thing rather than a little bit of progress on two. Anyway, so here is my wingspan. You've
done a lot of work on this.
So this is Wingspan by Kyle Vey.
Yes.
Yarn by the Blue Brick. And if I bring it up close, you can kind of see the feather detail.
Yeah.
And you can see the color fade as that goes along. So this is, I'm really enjoying knitting this.
That's good.
I really, really am. I wasn't really into the idea of sparkly yarn, but that's what I ended up with.
Yep.
Now, I've got this much yarn left.
Uh-huh.
So if I put that sort of beside my hand so you can kind of see. I haven't weighed it. I'm going to say it's about half a skein.
Okay.
Left.
Okay.
And I am adding ridiculous amount, like every row or every few rows, the amount that this is increasing
is a lot. Yeah.
And I've still got quite a bit to go.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty convinced I'm going to run out of yarn.
Okay. It was hard enough getting that yarn in the first place.
Well, yeah. So, what I'm going to do, I think, is, so the yarn that I'm going to be ending up with is this gray.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to try to find a similar or a slightly lighter gray than this. Or possibly just go straight to white to finish the bottom of the wings and the wingtips. And I'm okay with that because if we go to our color reference for this yarn, there is white.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of what part of me was thinking I was just going to really try to guess and end early.
Yeah.
But I could still blow that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of knitting to this that I don't want to have to rip out.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna knit for as long as I can.
Yeah.
See where I'm at, and then possibly get like another gray, or maybe a couple of smaller skeins, a gray and a white to do the wingtips or something.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Wingspan, yeah, I am really enjoying knitting this. I am a little bored of it because it is very repetitive.
Okay.
So I was going back and forth between episodes. I would spend my time on this one, and then I was working on my other lace shawl.
Yep.
And going back and forth between them. But and trying to get those socks finished up.
Of course, yes.
So I got the socks finished up, and then it was all gung-ho on this, and then I was just like, oh my god, I can't do another row.
Yeah.
Right? I need something to change up here. So what did I decide to do? Okay, so in the meantime, I had cast on these socks.
Okay.
So this is a pair of my regular socks. I think these ones might end up being for my husband.
Okay.
I forgot to make them big enough for him.
Okay.
So they might be mine.
Okay.
So here's the yarn
Ooh, very nice.
that I'm using. Now this yarn is the Targhee that I bought at Knit City.
Okay.
So this yarn is from Crafty Jack's Boutique. 90% superwash Targhee, 10% nylon in their tough and tender fingering weight.
Okay.
And wow, do I love this fiber.
That's good.
So Targhee, I'm not going to say, like, just touching the yarn itself in its little, in its skein or in its ball, it's not something that makes me go, oh, it's so soft.
Yeah.
It feels nice. It's not prickly.
Yep.
It feels nice. It feels strong.
Yep.
If I can put it that way. But when I knit it up, it actually knit up. It feels softer than I thought it would. And because it feels strong, I didn't think it would have any elasticity to it.
But it does?
But it does. I mean, like, these,
Oh, wow.
like, really stretch. And so that's why, like, this is, I'm thinking these might work for my husband after
Maybe.
all. But, like, even if I just take,
Some snug socks.
even if I just take this,
Oh, yeah.
you can see,
That is very elastic.
how much, yeah.
Maybe, yeah, that little bit of nylon, maybe, or...
Well, no, it would have more to do with the wool because the
Okay.
nylon's going to restrict it a little bit.
Okay.
So I should look up a picture of Targhee
Maybe,
sheep and
yeah.
see if they are a very curly haired animal or not. So anyway, so those socks have been sort of, they started out as my palette cleanser when I started getting bored
Yep.
with Wingspan. But then that wasn't doing it for me.
Okay.
So I thought, self, you need to get that Novelli sweater dealt with.
Okay.
So I grabbed my Novelli, and again, those of you who've been following along
Right.
know that I was really, really unhappy with the color work.
Okay. Oh, yeah, right.
But I had sort of like knit halfway up the body already. So I cut my color work off my Novelli.
Dang.
So there's the bottom. That's the last row before the color work started.
Yeah.
And I've got those held on, well, dental floss.
Yeah.
Waiting for me to complete the color work again.
Okay.
I then reconditioned the yarn. So
Right.
I took all the yarn and I skeined it using my Swift.
Swift, yeah.
Using my yarn Swift. Turned it into skeins. Soaked it.
Yep.
Forgot about it. So it was probably about 4 to 6 hours that it soaked for. That's not entirely necessary, but that's what happened. And then hung it to dry with soup cans in the bottom to pull the kinks out.
Yep.
And so now I've re-caked it all.
Yeah.
And see, this is how many times I've thought, oh, I'll show this. Oh, I'll show that. And we just keep not recording. Anyway, so now I am this far along again in my color work.
Oh, yeah.
For Novelli. So I'm not quite halfway
Okay.
through the color work. It's going much faster.
That's good.
And part of the reason it's going much faster, in my opinion,
Yes.
is I'm not trying to do... I'm not trying to be fancy. I was convinced, I'm watching all these other people knitting, that I needed to do my color work two-handed.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm having... none of my stuff's turning out.
Yeah.
My tension's bad. Everything about it is bad. And I was like, how did I used to do color work? So I went back and I literally I have the 2 yarns.
Yep.
And just like I'm holding them in my hand, and I just use this hand to pick which one I'm using. My tension is still a bit loose, for sure. So I'm hoping... You can see where, there's places where it's definitely worse than others. So I'm trying to tighten it up. I'm hoping that this isn't going to have the same problem that I had before with my color work being wide like this and the rest of the sweater being small like that.
Right.
But we'll see what happens. So stay tuned for that suspense, right? Stay tuned to find out if I manage to put my Novelli back together, and if they're about the same size or not.
Yeah.
We'll see. So I'm working on, improve my tension. I don't know what I used to knit with, because I knew I had to like really stretch out my knitting to make sure that things would stretch enough. I'm thinking maybe I didn't used to knit with superwash. I had no idea. Oh, and the yarn for that is Midnight Cravings, Velvet Plum, Kelp Forest, and Tapis Bar.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And finally...
Finally!
Because that wasn't enough.
Absolutely not.
I was sitting back and I was like, okay, I was waiting for my yarn to get conditioned.
Yep.
So I could get back to the Novelli.
Yep.
I didn't want to pick up Wingspan or the socks or the other shawl.
Okay.
So I remembered I had yarn set aside for another Soldotna.
Okay.
So I did a swatch. I did a gauge swatch for another Soldotna.
Alrighty.
And I'll be honest with you, I got this far.
Yep.
And now I can't figure out which size to knit.
Okay.
So I've knit the Soldotna before. Now here's the other thing, is I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to use this yarn. So it's the darker blue there.
Yep.
It's a completely different weight than the rest of the yarn. This yarn is all from Ella Rae.
Okay. Ella Rae. Okay.
Ella Rae, and it's lace DK Merino. And the colors.
Oh, wow.
So these colors, and then with this blue, but this one's the wrong weight.
Okay.
So I was trying to decide if I was okay with that. I'm still not totally sure, but I think I'm going to substitute this one.
Okay.
Which is a single from Color Adventures.
Okay.
So I think that's what I'm going to end up using.
Alrighty.
And if you remember, I have made a Soldotna before, and I had to... I ripped it out and I changed this and changed that and redid the neckline and redid, and all sorts of things happened to it. So I'm trying really hard to plan ahead this time.
Okay.
And make the right size.
Okay. But
the best place to get a measurement for size is around the bust line.
Okay.
But there's not really... Within the pattern, you get a measurement for right when you separate.
Okay.
the shoulders.
Okay.
And you're adding stitches. And anyway, so I really have to sort of go back and look at it because what it keeps telling me is to make the same size I did last time. But I know that was too big.
Okay.
So, and that's based on my gauge.
Okay.
So I'm totally, I'm not trying to say that I didn't even look at what the gauge for the pattern was. I'm basing this entirely on how many stitches per inch I'm knitting.
Yeah.
And I think this is a pretty good swatch to make that determination from. This could be the neckline of someone else's sweater.
Yep.
Anyway, how many stitches per inch I'm knitting and how many inches I need.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting anywhere. So
don't know what to do about that.
That's fine. I have to look more closely at that. But
can I just say though, I love that color combination.
It's kind of fun, isn't it?
I love it. Yeah.
The only thing because I remember when I bought the yarns.
Yeah.
I had something in mind for them, and I'm not sure this was it. What I do know is that this color and this color, I guess you could say they're interchangeable.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I could use the purple or the gold in opposite places here.
Right.
And then this one will be the body. And because I'm using this, I won't have to put in all those silly flecks that drove me crazy last time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and it feels nice.
I know, right? So I might just do up a little swatch with these reversed.
Maybe. I think this way will be better with the yellow as I think this way will be better, but of course I'm imagining
so
things,
this puts the yellow anyway. Well, yeah, I'm going to look at it a little bit more closely and see where that's going to come out. And that's going to be knit on 3.75 millimeter. Nice hat.
Thank you.
Nice hat. So those are my current whips.
Yay!
All of that to say I was getting really bored with my knitting, and now I've got, again, too many things on the needles. But the Soldotna, once I sit down to work on it, is going to go boom.
Yeah.
And Novelli, I've only been knitting on that color work for two days.
Something like that.
So I'll have that color work part finished in a day or so.
Yep.
And then put it together and see where it's at, and then I just have to finish the arms.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I know, and specifically, Carrie was asking me about this.
Ooh.
Lloyd's hat.
Lloyd's hat. Wow, he's got some good progress on it.
He's made some really good progress. So if you recall, Lloyd is knitting the roadside beanie for our trip to Shetland.
Yep.
Lloyd is a brand new knitter.
Yep.
And he is doing amazing as far as I'm concerned.
He definitely is.
And I think this is going to be, I think he's going to be pretty stoked when he's finished this, because
I think
it's
so
going to
too,
be very nice. He's using Juniper Moon Farms Patagonia.
Yeah.
And I love the color choices that he made.
Yeah, it is very nice.
And
Yeah.
It's kind of fun for me when he comes along and says, "Okay, I'm gonna knit now."
Yeah.
And one thing I did though, I told him, so you see he's got markers all the way around the top there.
Yep.
I said to him, before you even start with your pattern,
Yep.
put your markers in every 20 I don't
like
remember.
that. Yeah.
For your Stitch Repeat. So he was super happy when he did his first his first real pattern work.
Yeah.
And he got to the end and he was had the right number of stitches. He was pretty happy about that. So yeah. So that answers the how is Lloyd's hat coming along.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's the end of Whips.
That's the end of Whips.
Mike!
Hello.
What do you bring to the table?
Well, I can't remember if I mentioned this last time, but I am now officially working at the Boarding House Cafe, which is a board game cafe in Vernon.
Can you say job designed for this boy?
We had a staff night a little while ago, and I got to try out some of the games on our shelf that I hadn't got to play before. The one that stuck out to me was a game called Survive: Escape from Atlantis. Survive is a game for between 2 and 4 players. Probably like ages 10 and up. I should have written all that stuff down, but oh well, here we are. It's about you trying to get your people off the sinking island of Atlantis, which is represented by a bunch of tiles on the middle of the game board. And every round you will move some of your people around, trying to get them back to the mainland, whether they have to swim through the water or get on one of the boats to do that. And then you will have to sink one of the tiles on Atlantis, which is potentially going to put some of your opponent's pieces into the water, where they become potential victims of the shark, the whale, and the sea monster, who the game piece for it suspiciously looks like the Ogopogo.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a really it is a cutthroat game. Yes.
Hang on a sec. If you don't know who Ogopogo is, Ogopogo is the Okanagan's version of the Loch Ness Monster.
Yes. Distinctly different from the Loch Ness Monster. They're two very different looking things, but
Ogopogo lives in Okanagan Lake.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
And eats horses.
Eats horses.
Apparently.
Okay.
Someone was like trying to swim their horses to Cobra Island and something came up and ate them.
Or the horse drowned.
Or the horse drowned.
That's a long way.
Anyway. It presents an interesting balance between worrying about getting your people to shore so that you can then score their points. Not all of your people are worth the same amount of points, and you're the only one who knows which ones are which.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is definitely a class system.
A little bit. They all look the same, but at any time you can pick them up and look at the bottom of the piece and see what its point value is.
Oh.
That makes things interesting.
I don't like that.
Yeah. You can there's a variant rule where you can just say everyone is equal, and
I don't like that, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, I get it. It makes it fun from a game perspective. You know, you want to get the most points off, but honestly, that kind of upsets me.
A little bit. I mean, yeah, the game is the version that we were playing was the 30th anniversary edition. So the game is 30 years old.
It's been around for a while.
Yeah. You can choose to play with just everyone is worth a point. I did find that, while not everyone is equal was kind of a thing, it did bring some interesting moments to the game.
Of course it would. Yeah. Of course it would. Yeah. From a gameplay point of view, yes, that's great.
Yeah. Anyway, Survive: Escape from Atlantis for between 2 and 4 players, up to 6 players with expansions, and I would say ages 10 plus. Vicky, this would be a good game to play with your daughter. If as long as you're okay being mean to each other.
Okay. Game, it's competition.
Well,
yeah.
Some games you have to be meaner to people than you have to go out of your way to be mean to people.
You got to try to be mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of on that little bit note. I keep looking up over there and seeing my Thieves hand purifier.
Oh yeah.
Which just brings me to, in case you didn't know, everyone's panicking about the coronavirus. And
COVID-19.
COVID-19. And can I just say, wash your hands.
Yep. Hand sanitizer is not a substitute for that.
Wash your hands and leave the toilet paper in the store until you actually need to buy toilet paper.
Yeah.
I cannot.
Face masks are not going to do anything. You don't need them unless you actually have, a reason to need a face mask.
Yeah.
It is not going to help you avoid COVID-19.
Yeah. I just leave the bloody toilet paper alone.
Yeah.
I see all the memes going around about,
stockpiling toilet paper.
Anyway, it's just, it is ridiculous. I know I have a girlfriend who legitimately needs to buy toilet paper and can't.
It just came, for me, it just came out of nowhere. Just suddenly no one can buy toilet paper.
Well, there's this, it's not being shipped from China. It doesn't come from China!
Yeah.
It's just nuts. We're going to be stuck in our house. We need toilet paper. It's like, okay, even if you are potentially quarantined, isn't there anyone you can call to say, could you drop off some toilet paper on the doorstep for me?
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
We don't want it to spread. We don't want it to pass it around, but there's reasonable caution and precautions.
Yep.
And there's being crazy.
Yeah, the two best things you can do are wash your hands and, as much as you can, avoid touching your face. I touch my face all the time.
So do I.
Yeah.
Luckily, we are luckily being in the interior of BC. We're not in a large metropolitan area where there's not a lot. Yes, people travel here.
Yeah.
No question about it. People do travel here, but we don't have the same kind of interaction with other parts of the world.
Yeah.
So, anyway. All right. Yeah. So on that happy note,
I think that about
I hope your toilet paper survives.
I hope it does too. I think that about ends us for this episode.
I think it really does.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Really helps us out here on YouTube. Comment below. Let us know what you like to do while you're knitting. And what else did we have? Destashing. No?
Yeah, what do you do with your stash?
Yeah, what do you do with your... What are your stash habits? Follow us on Instagram, Close Knit Family Knitcast. Join us on Ravelry. All the information for that will be on the end card and in the description. And as always, keep your knitting close and your family closer. Bye.